The bird that's got me all engrossed is the African Dusky Flycatcher. It's an interesting, drabby looking bird. I'm sure there's not a lot of content on this bird because of its very subdued and brown, earthy colors.
The African Dusky Flycatcher, a very unassuming subject, small and relatively plain brown, woodland and forest edge specialist, insectivorous with aerial feeding behavior, common across much of Africa.
So it's an interesting looking bird. Not very vibrant bird, but it's beautiful to just watch them forage in the environment and how they move from branch to branch, and even how they catch insects.
Just a thought, how often do we chase uncommon birds and forget about the common ones, like the LBJ community of birds, the little brown jobs or little brown birds. Due to our chromatic bias, which is our tendency to prefer bright, saturated or unusually colored animals over dull colored ones. It's a form of visual bias. Color grabs our attention, sticks in our memory, causes us to judge an animal as more beautiful, interesting, or worthy of protection. Even when two species are equally rare or ecologically important, people consistently favor the one more colourful.
They're quite used to people and being in a busy wine estate where there's a lot of tourists and activity, but obviously you don't want to get too close. You want to give them their space.
So I'm in Lightroom. Background is key in bringing subject separation when photographing LBJs or dull birds. This usually starts in the field. The background you choose to frame the subject in the field. The background you choose is critical for a successful shot. A clean background, a green background, and a background that isn't the same color as the subject. Otherwise, it will be hard to get differentiation and contrast. So let me use the removal tool. Since I'm not using the image for a competition, I will use some creative license and remove some of the elements that are cluttering the image to help bring isolation of the subject. Lightroom's denoising and sharpening. Let's adjust the curves. Add some light in the eye, which is a classic art school technique in portraits, because my lecturer always said when I did oil painting, specifically portraits, that the light highlights and making the eye pop makes the subject look alive. before and after reveal. There you have it, a nice before and after enhancement that makes a little brown bird look aesthetically pleasing and with added emotion and visual interest. Not too much post, just enough to blend reality with presentation. Here's another example, an image of the same bird that I took at a different location called Klassenbos Trail, part of the Constantia Greenbelt area. This situation was a little bit more picturesque and dramatic because the canopy of trees were quite dim, with the gaps in the green foliage produced highlights on parts of the leaves and as well as the blue sky showing through, adding some very rich looking colors in the background. Then get the exposure and contrast right. See how the color adds some drama in the picture, with interesting textures on the tree stump and the subject nicely in focus. The eye is already popping nicely because of the light piercing through the gaps in the foliage above the bird. Here the subject separation is good depth of field, and lots of bokeh patterns in the background. Denoise and sharpening, since it is low light photography. So this is a very powerful and emotive photograph of a drabby colored bird. And you can see how you can change the game in photographing dull birds.